Hello, I'm Craig Brelsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with the executives of two public companies. First up is Myriad Uranium Corporation. Myriad Uranium operates as a mineral exploration company in the United States. The company primarily explores for uranium. It holds an option agreement to acquire a 75% interest in the Copper Mountain project, covering an area of 9,320 acres in Wyoming. The company also has an option to acquire the Red Basin uranium property, which covers an area of 1,776 acres in New Mexico. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Bullfrog AI. Bullfrog is a technology company delivering best-in-class AI solutions, including its BF Leap platform, originally developed at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab to help biopharma partners make smarter, faster decisions across the drug development spectrum. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small cap stock analysis.
A new era of small cap research has arrived with RedChip's RedChat, the fastest, most accurate AI assistant for small caps. The days of spending hours sifting through press releases, 10Ks, 10Qs, 8Ks, 13Fs, 13Gs, and other filings is over. Now, get answers in seconds on 4,000 small cap stocks in one portal. Simple, fast, accurate, detailed answers. Meet small caps with RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. Do your homework. Understand companies you invest in forwards and backwards. This quote comes from Charles Diker of Diker Management, and it is featured in Chapter 8 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with Myriad Uranium Corporation. Hello, today we have Thomas Lamb, the CEO of Myriad Uranium Corporation, trading on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol MYRUF and on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the ticker symbol M. Tom, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here. Thanks.
Let's start with the big picture. The global uranium market is seeing strong momentum with demand projected to far exceed supply. How is Myriad Uranium positioned to benefit from this major structural deficit?
We are in a fantastic position. The reason is we have a really big uranium endowment right in the center of Wyoming, which is a top jurisdiction in the world for uranium. The structural deficit you referred to is really big. The world consumes 200 million pounds of uranium per year, produces 160 million. The United States consumes 50 million pounds of uranium a year, produces about 1 million. These deficits are huge. We have to do something about it. The United States is very activated right now, and a company like Myriad with a big uranium endowment in one of the best states in the United States, probably the best, is ready to take advantage.
Let's talk more about that. You recently completed your maiden drill program at Copper Mountain in Wyoming. What were the key takeaways, and how did the results compare with historical data?
So the Copper Mountain Uranium Project in the center of Wyoming was a big Union Pacific Railway uranium project in the 1970s in partnership with Southern California Edison. They were going to build a large-scale conventional uranium mine at our project. They drilled 2,000 boreholes, planned a 6-pit mine, etc. But then that all got shut down after the Three Mile Island nuclear incident in 1979. So we're the first group back with unified ownership of the project, and we have drilled it. So we drilled 34 holes in the center of the project. And as we suspected, we actually got much better results, we think, than they got back in the 1970s. And The reason for that is they were very conservative with their instruments. They used a very conservative approach. We used a laboratory, and we far exceeded our expectations. I think we found a lot more uranium, and so we've leveled up relative to history, we believe.
It looks as though you're in the right place geologically as well as jurisdictionally. Wyoming, the leading U.S. uranium jurisdiction with a clear permitting path, Tom. How does that jurisdictional advantage de risk your development timeline?
So globally, you want to be in Wyoming. You want to be, if you're in the uranium business, because of this deficit that I mentioned, the 50-to-1 approximate supply demand deficit, you want to be inside the US and you want to be in Wyoming. 4 out of the 5 producing projects in the United States are in Wyoming. Wyoming produces about 70% of annual production. The regulators are there to help you. There is great local support. Yeah, it's just a fantastic jurisdiction, and the permitting is there. They want to permit uranium mines. Gives us a huge advantage relative to everywhere else in the world.
You also control the Red Basin project in New Mexico. How does that asset complement Copper Mountain and diversify your pipeline?
So Copper Mountain has an enormous uranium endowment of the greater district could be up to 655 million pounds. That's just world class. And then in the central area, 245 million pounds. We control about 70% of that acreage. Just for regulatory reasons, I have to say that's not a 43-101 compliant resource. That's just how much uranium is estimated to be in that central area. So that's an enormous endowment of uranium. However, extracting that is probably going to require what they call conventional methods as opposed to in situ recovery. Not to get a little bit technical for your audience, but many of them will understand this. Whereas our project in New Mexico, Red Basin, is sandstone based. It's in sandstone. It's roll front, and it's quite high grade in some ways. And depending on some other technical factors, it might be easier and cheaper to extract quickly the uranium that's there. So we have high grades, and we also have quite a bit of vanadium, up to 1.64% uranium, vanadium, pardon me, we believe. And, that makes it an exciting project, but it's a much smaller scale, but perhaps faster and a bit of a different thing. They really complement each other.
Tom, let's turn now to management. It is the key to the success of any company, but especially a smaller cap company. Who are some of the key players on your team?
Our chairman is Simon Clark. He has built several companies up to $1 billion and beyond. He and I built a company called M2 Cobalt, which we sold to Jervois Global. That went from $100 million up to $1.3 billion. We were partners on that. So I have experience too, building these companies from more or less from scratch up to, big market caps. So Simon Clark is important. We have Marvin Singer. He was a partner at a leading international law firm in mining, retired, world-class lawyer. Our management team is designed to build a big company here.
You also have a seasoned technical team that I want to hear about, Tom. Some of them have decades of direct experience at Copper Mountain itself. How does that depth of experience give Myriad an edge?
We are totally set apart from most other uranium companies. It is really hard to get talent in the uranium sector because there's been underinvestment for decades. We're very lucky. Jim Davis was the original discoverer of the mine in the center of our project. Our project's a brownfield project in Wyoming. And he was the general manager of Union Pacific's work at Copper Mountain, where they spent 85 million US in today's dollars, drilled those 2,000 holes. He managed that exploration in the 1970s. He's still sharp as a tack and helping us develop this project, and very exciting that we're there. It's a huge advantage. Our chief geologist is George Funderbolt. He's a world-class uranium exploration geo from South Africa, and we're very lucky to have him also. So we're in a great situation.
Final question, Tom. What's the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Myriad Uranium right now?
So first of all, the market, uranium is coming, and it's coming fast. It's a critical mineral. The price has gone up from $30 a pound up to $80 a pound and beyond. and it's only going to go higher. It's predicted to get up into the 130s, 140s by major Wall Street banks, and that's in the near term. Again, labeled critical mineral by Donald Trump and uh, federal agencies that are relevant. Uranium is going to go. We have a huge uranium endowment, again estimated by U.S. Department of Energy to be hundreds of millions of pounds. That's not 43-101, we have to say, but we have a huge uranium endowment right in the middle of the United States. Data, AI, micro reactors, small modular reactors. It's game on for uranium. It generates electricity. A company like ours, could see parabolic growth. We have that potential.
Tom, just clarify for us, please. What does 43101 mean?
And I'm sorry to put that in there. I have to. That is a regulatory framework that governs mining companies that are based in Canada, and the U.S. has a similar regulation. Yeah, basically, I, I'm not allowed to say that we have all that uranium and it's ready to be extracted and turned into a mine without an engineering study, a proper engineering study. And so that's why I have to insert that caveat, because a lot of the work at our project was done in the 1970s. That's just a long time ago. So the regulations require us to do additional work to reconfirm all that uranium. However, Union Pacific, they employed the best technical people at the time. They did amazing work. They drilled 2,000 boreholes. So from my point of view, there's a high level of confidence in the uranium, but I just legally have to caveat it with the 43101 comment.
Sounds fascinating, Tom. Thanks for being with us today.
That's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Now, to get more information on Myriad Uranium Corporation, visit myriaduranium.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Myriad Uranium. Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Bullfrog AI. Hello, we're here with Vin Singh, the CEO of Bullfrog AI. Vin, thanks for joining us today.
Great to be with you today. Thank you.
Bullfrog is redefining drug discovery and development with AI. What makes your approach unique in this rapidly evolving field?
Well, look, I think there are three factors that contribute to our uniqueness and our success thus far. One is our team, one is technology, and one is data. Our team, so we have a lean company, but extremely talented. Majority of our team are PhDs and MDs. They've done an amazing job thus far. On the technology side, we have proprietary AI from the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab. This protected by intellectual property. This is a superior technology. It's a proven technology, and we're very, very excited about that. And the last thing is data. And we've had exclusive access to some one-of-a-kind data from the Lieber Institute for Brain Development, and we've made some amazing discoveries from that data. We've identified novel drug targets that we believe are the drivers of neuropsychiatric disorders. So it's a combination of those three factors.
Now, Vin, the pharmaceutical industry is facing rising costs and long development cycles. How does Bullfrog AI's technology help to solve those challenges and change the economics of drug discovery and development?
Yeah, I mean it's a the drug discovery and development process is very long, very high risk, and very expensive. So using our technology, we're really operating at two ends of the spectrum. The early stage with drug target discovery, and then the final stage with late stage clinical trial optimization. And we've had tremendous success on both ends. But using our technology and approach, what we're able to do is improve the odds for success and reduce the time needed to get to those next milestones. As with our drug target discovery work with the Lieber Institute data, we very quickly identified a reservoir of very valuable targets that we think can be game changers for the world of neuropsychiatric drug development. And then on the clinical trial end, we recently completed a project with Alazon Pharmaceuticals The details of the data that came out, the results that came out of that are embargoed because Liaison was so excited about the results, they wanted to submit it to one of the top oncology conferences as an abstract. So it's right now it's embargoed, but needless to say, the results were incredibly exciting. And this was looking at phase 3 pancreatic cancer data. Very, very difficult disease, difficult situation. And we got results. They want to move ahead and look at a second contract with us. Everybody's very happy at this point.
Then your global collaboration with Signature Discovery seems like another major catalyst. How will that partnership accelerate commercial adoption, and what is the expected revenue impact?
Yeah, so we're we have Bullfrog data networks. This is where we can build networks. It's a Palantir style model for companies using their data or combining with public data. And we decided it would be great to work with a world class partner that has a global commercial team that can sell this solution. And Signature Discovery is a top tier CRO based in the UK, and they selected us out of all the potential AI partners out there. And now their global sales team is selling Bullfrog data networks. So allows us to rapidly scale sales, ramp sales, without having to build a giant commercial team for ourselves. And they've started that process. I think this will be the first full quarter that they're selling, Q4. And I expect, in the beginning, that ramp can be slow, but then, you get that momentum and traction and things will take off. We are estimating up to 30 million in revenue over the next 3 years, cumulative, through this partnership. And, we're really excited about it.
As you mentioned, Vin, Bullfrog has some exclusive collaborations with world class institutions such as the Lieber Institute, as well as the J. Craig Venter Institute. How do these partnerships strengthen your competitive moat and help validate your platform?
Well, look, these are top tier institutions. So, by virtue of the partnership, it's validation because they can work with anyone they want. With the Lieber Institute, especially, we had exclusive access to their data. And remember, they have the world's largest repository of brains, thousands of brains of neuropsychiatric patients. And they entrusted us with that data. And we made amazing discoveries. And we're going to market with those discoveries. We're talking to numerous pharmaceutical companies. We're under NDA with many pharmaceutical companies. We're, talking about statements of work with multiple pharmaceutical companies. So these relationships were really a tremendous stepping stone to get us to this next stage. And I'm very optimistic about getting something done this quarter. We've been working on these for a while, and they do take time, but I think we're in the final innings.
Your Bullfrog Data Network Solutions Library was designed for enterprise scalability across global cloud platforms. How does that flexibility support adoption by both large and mid sized life sciences companies?
Yeah, so I think, when you're talking about the types of data that we're looking at, scalability is really important because you may be dealing with a relatively small data set or, something that's more, traditional AI size. And with our platform, we can scale without really any modifications. So we're able to meet the needs of really any company at any stage of development in the biopharma space. We're also able to operate in their environment, which is important because sometimes, well, maybe more often than sometimes, our customers, clients are very sensitive about their data. So the ability to operate in their cloud environment, I think, is a huge advantage. So these are the kinds of things we're doing. Also related to Bullfrog Data Networks is something called BF Prep. So we have what we believe is a very unique, one of a kind data preparation solution because having AI ready data is the key to leveraging AI and extracting maximum value. Right now, most companies do not have AI ready data. We can help them and we can help them very quickly. We've done it in incredibly complex, messy situations, and even including handwritten notes and things like that. So we got this, a library of solutions with Bullfrog Data Networks, BFPrep, and we can provide support and really add tremendous value at different stages of discovery and development.
As you mentioned before, Vin, Bullfrog AI is known for its lean and capital efficient operating model. How does that approach enable you to scale rapidly and extend your runway as you grow the business?
Well, look, we only burn about 6 million a year. Okay. So about 500,000 a month. And we can do that because what I talked about in the beginning, we have tremendous technology, we have great data, and we have a really talented team. Um, so when you have a low burn like that, you don't need to raise a lot of money when you do. But remember, we're very focused on generating revenue. We're not a biotech that's looking to hit that next development milestone where we may need money to get there. We're focused on generating revenue. And the nice thing is when we do get these bigger, partnership deals done, the economics are outstanding for us. It's not like we need to hire an army of people for a multi-million dollar program. You might need to hire maybe just a couple of people. So one of our data scientists has the ability to generate many millions of dollars in revenue for the company. So I think our model is strong, and it's one that is sustainable, and it keeps us out of bad situations where we see other companies in our sector that are spinning, pivoting, like laying off people and things like that. We don't have those concerns. We're very focused on, like I said, getting the cash flowing, getting past break even and continuing to grow from there. And we'll probably be maybe the only AI company that can say something like that.
Final question, Vin. What is the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Bullfrog AI right now?
Well, I know investors are the first thing that they're focused on is risk. Okay. And I just said it. We're a low risk business. We don't burn a lot of cash. If we do need to raise money, we don't need to raise a lot of money. Okay. That's a key. The other piece is we have tremendous upside. We have, home run potential. The deals that we're trying to work on now with our discoveries and these other things that we're doing are all very, very, significant opportunities for us. And we'll, like I said, it'll take us to profitability and way beyond if we even get one of these deals done. Um, we're getting traction. We're getting a lot of interest. Every time we get these wins with signature, with a liaison, so on and so forth, we're getting more visibility, more credibility. So this is a really exciting time to get involved with Bullfrog as an investor.
Vin, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, to get more information on Bullfrog AI, visit bfrginfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Bullfrog AI. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. And also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met Myriad Uranium Corporation, MYRUF, on the OTCQB. Myriad Uranium operates as a mineral exploration company in the United States. The company primarily explores for uranium. It holds an option agreement to acquire a 75% interest in the Copper Mountain project, covering an area of 9,320 acres in Wyoming. The company also has an option to acquire the Red Basin uranium property, which covers an area of 1,776 acres in New Mexico. Learn more at www.myriaduranium.com. Then, you met Bullfrog AI, BFRG on the NASDAQ. Bullfrog AI is a technology company delivering best-in-class AI solutions, including its own BF Leap platform, originally developed at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab, to help biopharma partners make smarter, faster decisions across the drug development spectrum. Learn more at www.bfrginfo.com. Don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small-cap stock portal in the industry. It has every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with market caps of $2 billion and less. And it's categorized by industry. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. And be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small-cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-RedChip or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies. So please, always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.